My name is Paula Goldsche. I'm a German engineer in the field of industrial engineering and management with special focus on sustainability and climate change related issues. And I work for CESIR, a European Center of Studies and Initiatives, which is located in Palermo, Italy.
My name is Miguel Reis, I'm Portuguese and I'm an architect. I'm also specialized in urbanism. I have a post-graduation in occupational safety and hygiene. I'm also a city councillor at the municipality of Espinho, and I cooperate with several education institutions with responsibilities in planning area, design, strategic planning and civil protection. I'm responsible for several internal and external contingency plans, and I also recently have been collaborating in the development of new tools in the civil protection framework, namely the creation of platforms and apps that allow to involve all the civilian population and private or public entities in the field of the civil protection in large-scale emergency scenarios.
The second module of MOOC Cyprovod is about emergency planning. So what are the basic knowledge and skills for emergency management for those who want to become volunteers in civil protection?
So from my point of view, it is really important for volunteers to have a general overview of the European system. So entities and mechanisms in place. A good example would be the European Joint Research Centre, providing valuable information in case an emergency occurs. Furthermore, I think it is also really important to know about basic legislative frameworks, as the Sendai Framework for Risk Reduction, which has been endorsed by the UN, and since the European Commission has implemented an action plan on its implementation, I think it would be necessary for volunteers to know the basics of this framework.
The intervention of the civil protections volunteering should not be thought and summarized only by the response in case of an emergency and the provision of support to the populations. Its implementation should be operationalized fundamentally in the prevention fields, based on the knowledge of territory, vulnerabilities in the acquisition of information, and especially in risk education. The outreach work with all the bodies and associations should be appreciated. We'll only be capable of providing real and serious answers if we succeed in the engagement of the citizens and in the promotion of their participation. Conceive ways of articulations with the civic and solidarity organizations which represent the volunteering is primarily to think of strategies that contribute to the training of the communities regarding preventions and response to complex situations. The willing to participate and develop competencies in the civil protection system by the volunteers requires a good organization. The goodwill is not enough. It is important for each one of us to know their role, what to do, when to do it, and with which means.
Although a response to a national disaster or an accident is a very crucial task for civil protection corporations, returning back to normal life is definitely the most challenging and long-lasting phase. So how can a good planning facilitate this process?
I think that preparedness is key in returning to normal life as smoothly as possible. In this sense, I would say that if volunteers are prepared and know at least a little what to expect, they will not only provide more efficient help, but will also be more resilient to the stress that is presented by an extreme situation like a catastrophe. Obviously, they should be also accompanied and supported in the phase after the emergency occurred by their organizations. In the end, I think it will come down to the individual, how well they are prepared to cope with stress and with the impact that such a situation presents on them and on their health.
Okay, can you give us some concrete examples of successful emergency planning?
effective management of a civil protection emergency situation is only possible through good planning. And it should be based on a clear, flexible, dynamic, accurate and adequate to the local characteristics emergency plan. In contrast, its content cannot be assumed as irrevocable due to the constant social, geographic, technical, logistical and even operational changes, which will have to be constantly considered in the document in a continuous improvement approach. The stage of elaboration of the plan involves the formation of a multidisciplinary team responsible for the integrations of knowledge in several areas, such as risk, assessment, operational conduct, or logistics. In order to achieve the success in this stage, it is important to characterize the territory, to identify and quantify the risk associated with the plan, detecting the vulnerabilities, conceiving scenarios and assessing the probable damages. On the basis of this information, it will be possible to define rules and procedures to adopt by the civil protection services and civil protection agents, as well as other cooperative entities in order to protect the populations, goods and the environment in a scenario of major accident or catastrophe. I think it is urgent and prior to move forward and implement new tools in the civil protection field that involve all the community. It is crucial to learn lessons from the past and face the future with responsibility and safety. Together, we are stronger.
Thank you, Paula and Miguel, for participating as experts in this event.
Thank you.